102K BTC, the alts are cooking. The market is looking fantastic at the moment. So is this time for a bigger altcoin move, or are we expecting some kind of pullback? So today I've got my indicator legend here from Chart Hackers. He is joining us. We're going to talk what is happening next with these alts. I've obviously got some banger setups for you as well. So we got so much going on here today. Let's get right into it. And remember, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe, and you by now you must know. Here's our chart hacker, AI Ray is in the house, and here's our other chart hacker guest here. Chaos is in the house. You still got that price tag on your cap there, bro. Looking good. Was it a bull market buy there? Looking good. Okay, let's talk banter bubbles here. Let's see what's going on. We can see these AI agents and things like that. It's something that we need to be discussing today. So I am talking about some of them. You can see AI 16Z at 25% up today. We got SPX 20%, Sand 14%, old shitcoin gaming even coming alive at the moment, and Ray's favorite token 𝗙𝗙𝗘 even up 5% at the moment. So things are nice and green. It's pleasant to start the year off like this. And I must just say, it's really good to be back. I was away for about 10 days. I absolutely missed this whole vibe. I missed the energy of all of this, and I missed you guys. So I'm glad the first show of 2025, we've got a little bit of green here, and we can kick off with a little bit of action. So let's jump into, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, you guys already know. Please smash the like so everyone else can know that we're on. There's a few people here, so we all need to know. And guys, for all the new people, we've been missing for 10 days. Okay, so hit the likes, comment a lot, and then everyone will come back and they'll realize that we are back in the house. Okay, let's get cracking. Let's see where we are. BTC, well, what a pleasant move that we have just experienced now. So big pump for us on BTC into 102K. So interesting looking level here for us. So there's a couple of things that are a little bit concerning for me right now on the 2 hour. Number one, you can see our oscillator on the downside that is printing heavily overbought here at the moment. So you can see we've had a beautiful squeeze on BTC. Now we've got a heavily overbought oscillator, but we could have a situation like we've had in the past where the oscillator just floats nice and high here and we get some kind of consolidation. So not technically expecting major dumps to the downside here, but what I'm saying is the oscillator is hot, and at the moment BTC is sitting at our 618. So that is a bit of a danger zone for us. So right now this region 102K is a zone we need to watch. Ray and I have just taken a sneaky little short on BTC on Prime XBT, so I'm going to show you where my stop is as well in a minute. We're playing around with this area, but I suspect if this region doesn't fall over here, you can see we've got big horizontals here as well. If this region doesn't fall over, I suspect our next short opportunity is going to be at a 104.800, that type of level that we are going to be looking at. Now, we're going to have to obviously manage our altcoins here, because if we get a major Bitcoin rejection, these alts are going to feel a little bit of pain. But if we just consolidate in these types of areas, then I think we're going to have a little bit more fun on these altcoins. So what are we watching right now? Well, the most obvious level that we need to pay attention to is going to be this high that we have now broken on BTC. This was on the 26th of December. So that is going to be our new main support that we're going to be watching. So if we do dip lower, we're going to look for this 236 to hold for us, that 236 fib at 99,700. That is going to be our level. Nice horizontal there for us. That is going to be the first big bounce zone for me. Then a little bit lower down, 98,130 is going to be the next banger for me to the downside. So not expecting much more than that. I do want to see our 50-day MA hold, which we have now broken. And I do want to see this VWAP from the highs hold as support. So that is what I'm watching now for the next, say, 24 hours. That is hopefully going to give us what we need out of this market. Now, I don't have tons of news for you guys, but we got to talk about this 𝗙𝗘𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪 situation. The man has come back again, just like that butler in Mr. D. The minute you think things are calming down, he sticks his head out. He says, hey, I bought some more BTC. Now, surprisingly, we haven't had a dump after this latest buy of his. Now, we've often seen after he buys, we get a big BTC sell-off. So right now, he said he's bought another 1,000 BTC, small amount for him, nothing major, and at 94,000 per Bitcoin. So the man is cooking again. And then what I found amazing today, Chaos, have you actually seen this video, Ray? And I'm not going to play you the video. He goes on for a little bit, yeah? But basically, he's saying this man, he's going to give up his keys to his BTC. So he's never going to sell this. When he passes away, he says that's going to be his contribution
to the market basically, and he's going to burn his keys. So I don't know. What is this man doing here? What's his story? I mean, did you see this?
I think it's absolutely amazing. It's one of the best videos I've ever seen. The fact that he's just strengthening the network by not allowing those to be sold again. That's insane, bro.
It's unreal.
He's a legend.
It's unreal. Ray, do you concur?
Pretty crazy. I concur.
Ray concurs. Ray concurs. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. Now, Tony the Bull, he was dropping the CME BTC futures. This was earlier today. This was this morning in my time. And he was basically dropping hints here that we were going to get some kind of pumpage and some kind of pop in the market. That CME was already sitting above 100K. And what he was highlighting for us today was that his weekly RSI has moved back above 70. Now, we know when that weekly is above 70, we know we get a lot of bull market action. That's where we get some of our best pumps in the market. And that has now creeped up. And the last three instances that we've had the situation, we had rallies of 59%, 76%, and 59% again. So his target here, 158 to 174. Is it reasonable? We'll have to see. Okay, we got a Trump pump leading into the 20th of January. We're all expecting some kind of Trump move here. What happens after that? Most likely some kind of sell-off. And I quite like what Cointelegraph has been saying about the situation. And this has pretty much been my sentiment. Now, if everybody starts agreeing with the same sentiment, this tends to not happen. But Cointelegraph basically saying that this Trump-led Bitcoin rally could wane ahead of the FOMC on January 29th. Now, we know we got the inauguration on the 20th. We know the market is green at the moment. And what I was saying to the chart hackers guys yesterday as well and last week, if we do get some kind of green pump into this inauguration or into that FOMC at the end of the month, then for me, it's definitely going to be a sell the news situation. It's going to be bang out some shorts. It's going to be take tons of profits in those situations because we most likely get a major flush out of the market. And then the converse, if we start dumping into the Trump inauguration, then yes, I'm looking for some great entries there for us that we can start buying into the end of January. So something to look forward to. But this is basically what Cointelegraph have pitched here. And they're saying, look, potentially a sell-off waning towards the end of January. So something interesting there. And then we're going to talk the S&P as well and Bitcoin on the daily. So number one, it's nice to see the S&P and Bitcoin singing from the same hymn sheet for a change. And they are both pumping very nicely. Now, what I like for Bitcoin on the daily is this daily oscillator from Chart Prime really still looking pretty good on the daily, in spite of some of the 4 hours, maybe some of the 8 hours saying they might want to roll over a little bit. That daily is looking pretty hot for us at the moment. And something that I've been watching for the last couple of days has been this potential head and shoulders that has been brewing on the daily. And we were earmarking a couple of targets lower down. So our best way to invalidate the situation is, well, number one, make sure we have a close above this 100K region. We definitely need to close above that region, and then we can start turning a little bit more bullish again on BTC. So until we start getting these closes, find support above 100K, a little bit cautious here for me because we know on these lower time frames we might get some kind of reversal on BTC. So that is what I'm watching there. And then that S&P, what an absolute banger. Look at this. The S&P on the daily printed some bullish divergence there. You can see our oscillator moved up and then nice little pump there. And this thing is now gapped up. So there's tons of gaps on the S&P. So lots of space to play, lots of space to send the S&P, but beautiful now that it's broken back above that 50-day MA. And I would say that is teeing up for a nice move now leading into the end of January. And that might help with sentiment in the crypto market as well. So things looking pretty good from that front. And then our main support will be the gap close at 5,950 on that S&P. So that is going to be the big one to watch. That will be your support if we do drift a little bit lower. And Happy New Year, Frank. And how's everyone else doing? Let's see. My people are here. I can see a lot of familiar names here in the chats. And how are you guys doing? Let me know in the chats how you're doing. And hopefully you guys have had a good couple of days. We've seen the market's been absolutely ripping. I know the chart hackers guys have been smashing it in there as well. Lately, I know this man's been busy. And this man's also been busy. Ray, how many trades in a row? 10. How many undefeated?
It's been 30 days, the whole month, since the opening of Chart Hackers.
Undefeated. Are you serious? Undefeated
live trading. Undefeated.
Chaos, you had a good run the last couple of days.
My record is 11 for 11 wins on PopCat.
Okay, and that is scalping.
Well, I'm scalping as well, but yeah, no, that was using levels, but I'm scalping now. Probably I'm running about 25 trades a day, probably winning about 3/4 of them. And we're putting as many in chat as possible. Yeah.
Okay, so Ray says he's undefeated for 30 days. I mean, guys, the chart hackers guys in the chats will have to let us know. Those are the guys trading with him. He's getting a bit of a cult following in there. So Ray's doing opening and closing sessions on high leverage. These are quick scalp trades that he is pulling off for the guys in the chart hackers. So if you want to find out more, there's obviously a link in the description. Let's see. I see there's such good people here in the chats. The people are here. Maruk is here. And nice to see you guys are coming back for me. And when I've been gone for 10 days, I swear it's felt like an absolute eternity sitting there waiting to come back on here for today. So nice to see you guys. Nice to see my regulars. Yes, Reletu, what's happening, bro? Magnus, yes, I am back, guys, and fully committed. We're going to have a cracking 2025. Looking so excited and looking so forward to what is going to be happening here for us. Okay, so here's the Prime XBT Bitcoin short at the moment. The stop is 102,623. That is my current stop at the moment. That gives me a little bit of room above that wick. If we do get one more pump on BTC, we do have a little bit of room to the upside. We could actually even stretch that a little bit further just to be safe. We could actually just push that a little bit higher in case they want to come back and just clean out some of that, some of the late shorters there. So we're going to watch that one as we play out. So I'm currently 0.4 Bitcoin short on Prime XBT at the moment. There's obviously a link in the description for Prime XBT if you guys want to trade it with me. Now, the first thing I want to show you on my tile today, you saw there was quite a bullish print there, a bullish picture as to what's going on, and quite a bullish headline. So there's a couple of things at play here. Number one is my total 3 chart. This is the entire altcoin market excluding Bitcoin and ETH. And this is looking like an absolute banger. This is looking like a degen breakout play on a 15-minute candle, but this is the daily that we are looking at. So a couple of interesting things happening here for us. On the daily, you can see our daily oscillator is starting to push higher. That has got room to grow. That has got room to move a little bit higher up for us. So that is a great start for us on total 3. This is the altcoin market. So why are we feeling bullish on it? Well, look at that. We've broken our trend. Now, simple for me. If we get a little Bitcoin rejection, easy play. We are still bullish if we get a pullback on this total 3. Anything down to that 980 billion level is super bullish. That's going to be a simple trend break on the daily and a simple little retest there for us. So something to look forward to with this total 3. Obviously, if these alts start ripping from here and they carry on, well, then we're going to see this thing start grinding and we're going to start attacking those highs. But right now, we can now say officially that we are bullish on the altcoin market, provided we are holding that 984 billion level. And that is going to be our support marker that we are going to be paying attention to. So right now, all is well here on the alts. If we do get a sell-off, yes, we're going to feel a little bit of pressure on some of those trades with tight stops. And in fact, we're going to take profit today on one of my longs, and I've got Chaos to help me just to take me through why we are taking profits on that. But if we do get a little bit pullback, 980 is what we're watching. That's our support, and that is where we're going to look for buys on these alts. So if we do get a pullback, that is where we're looking to reload on some of our altcoins here if we do get that sell-off. So that is that plan. Then Bitcoin dominance. Now, this was the bearish side for me. And I was saying earlier today to the team that, it's not necessarily a bad thing if we're going to get a dominance reversal bounce. And that is because if the dominance is bouncing and Bitcoin is pumping, it doesn't necessarily mean the alts are getting wrecked. Okay, we know these alts will just organically start moving up. But the problem comes, as you guys know, is when dominance pumps and Bitcoin starts falling over. So that is something we need to watch, but we can see clear as day. Our oscillator is telling us now that we are expecting a dominance bounce on the daily, and that is pretty substantial for us. Now, if that ties in with a Bitcoin pump, we are good, and these alts will just grind higher slowly. And if it ties in with a Bitcoin dump, well, guys, then we're going to feel pressure, we're going to feel some pain, and then we are most likely looking at the situation like that, where our total 3 is dropping to 984 billion. So make sure this week, if we are getting a sell-off this week, get out your total 3 chart. When that hits about 980 billion, that is going to be your support marker. Then you're going to look at some of your altcoins. You're going to pick up which ones are sitting on supports, and you're going to be looking for longs of those types of levels on that. So that is based on that situation. So dominance pumping. What am I expecting? Well, if we assume that dominance trades like a normal shitcoin, okay, and we can see that it does, it respects a lot of levels. If that daily pump starts playing out, I don't want to see much more than this wick getting taken out on dominance before we get that reversal. Okay, so the ideal game plan here, Bitcoin pumps to 110 or whatever it does, dominance rips up, the alts actually move up organically, then we get that dominance rejection, and these alts start absolutely flying. Now, that is obviously the bull source. That is obviously the absolute degen play that I would be looking for. But again, we're going to be prepared for all types of scenarios. Okay, but ideally, yes, that is our bull source. Now, let's get into some alts. Well, first, let's talk alt season. We haven't looked at this one in a while, and here's our alt season index chart, and this one is sitting at 59 now. So as you can see, we are not in alt season yet, according to this chart, even though they did give us 3 days of alt season not too long ago. So right now we are at level 59, and this tells us that, like you can see with this ETH chart here, we could still be in a downtrend at the moment. So like we can see here, this is ETH. This was our highs on the daily. Then we had that beautiful drop to the downside. And what we've been saying here, until we print new highs on ETH, we have to assume that we're going to print a lower high here, and we are going to be in a situation where we just trend a little bit lower down. Now, obviously, that is not our first prize, and that goes against a lot of what we want to see out of this altcoin market, but we have to use what is in front of us. And we do know, okay, number one, the bullish example is the daily is still pushing higher, so there is still hope from this front that we do get sent a little bit higher there from that side on ETH. But then we can see things like the 12-hour and like the 8-hour, for example, they are getting a little bit overbought here at these current levels here. Look at that. That is starting to fall over there on the 8-hour as well for ETH. So it's also just another warning bell here saying, look, we might not print a new low, but we need to understand that the market might slow down just a touch, maybe just recoup a little bit there, just get a little bit of composure, and then push that final move up for that daily to go higher. So what am I watching now on ETH? What do I want to see? Well, ETH is in danger zone number 1. This is 618, and you can see it's exactly the same as Bitcoin, sitting at the 618 now from the highs to the lows. Very similar look to it at the moment. So 3,725. This is resistance number 1 for ETH. And what is our next banger zone here? It's going to be 3,900. So 3,725, 3,900. These are our big rejection zones. These are our danger zones for ETH, where if we are going to get a reversal, it's most likely at one of these two regions we're going to be looking at for that rejection. So just look out there. If you're sitting in ETH, this is actually a TP zone. If it does push a little bit higher, 3,900 is your next take profit zone, especially for the high leverage traders that are out there. Seed says, Dill's ETH bro status removed. Guys, I don't know. I mean, I love this ETH situation, and I think I'm always going to be an ETH bro. And Jawad says, my short is going to get wrecked. Fuck, bro. I hope it gets wrecked, okay? Because I got another short for you guys. That's a hedge short play. And, I'm happy to get wrecked in these hedge shorts because we are long and strong, and 𝗬𝗎 is one of them that is absolutely cooking. I'm going to take you through some of those trades. So just finishing ETH for us, 3,300. That is where we're sitting as our main support. You know your rejection zones. You know your upside levels now. Look out for that. When we start breaking new highs, yes, turbo bullish, we start flying again. It's going to be fun. Okay, let's get there first. Let's understand the context of where we are. Now, speaking of context, there's a lot of shit going on here. Things have really got out of hand over the last couple of days here on my trading account. So you can see 𝗬𝗎 has absolutely been flying for me. I did drop the setup in Chart Hackers during the holidays. I was very active in Chart Hackers. You just didn't see me on YouTube. But 𝗬𝗎, absolute banger. This thing is now $8,700 up, and I'm thinking about closing this trade. And this is why I brought Chaos on today. He's gonna advise us. There's a couple of things on 𝗬𝗎 that we are going to be talking about. Then you can see Brett. I don't know if you remember, this Brett trade went negative 18,000. Okay, it's finally back positive. It's positive 4,000 now. So that thing is cooking here. Phantom, that is a short for me for Phantom. We know a lot of exchanges are delisting Phantom because of the Sonic move, and I thought that's a nice hedge short play for me. So if the market falls over, I've got a little bit of short cover on Phantom. You can see I've got a small hedge short on Brett as well. H-bar, that was a setup I dropped in Hackers earlier today. Cock, I've been riding Cock all day. Okay, I rode Cock 2 days ago, and I started riding some Cock again today, and that was a little scalp play from last night. Okay, we had bullish divergence there on the 1 hour that we were looking at on our Hacker Zoom, and that thing started pushing. So I've added a little bit on that one. Then Render, this has been the banger for me. Look at this Render, 12,000 up. That's a banger. 𝗏𝗏, that was another setup. I dropped another scalp that I dropped in Hackers earlier today. Peppy's going, Jupe is going. What else we got? XRP. There's a potential long on XRP that I've got for you guys. I'm going to show you that chart at the moment. Then I've got a head short in 𝗬𝗎. Fuck, there's a lot going on here. 𝗎𝗥 still long, Sol still long. Okay, that is the current situation. Things really did get out of hand there for a second. So, guys, I've been riding that cock all day. I mean, it's been good. It's been very good. And yes, Bison GM Palme. Yes, Phantom is crap, but maybe it's a good to short it. Look, Phantom is moving to Sonic. That is why Phantom was printing new lows. You were seeing announcements and things like Bybit saying they're delisting Phantom. I think it was on the 10th of January. So they say you need to have all your positions closed. So for me, it made sense that maybe, less people wanted to long Phantom. Maybe, it just could be a play here for us. So that is why I like Phantom as a head short for us. And look, any pumps on Phantom, look to sell the pumps. Okay, now let's talk 𝗬𝗎. We know there was an absolute banger. Okay, everyone knows. If you follow me on Twitter at the Lord of Entry, how many times have you seen this meme? Okay, every time 𝗬𝗎 pumps, you get memed out with Cristiano here shouting 𝗬𝗎. And this is a warning bell for us from Into the Cryptoverse. He's saying the short-term bubble risk is now available on 𝗬𝗎. I just got to mute. Let me just mute my messages. Wow, messages going mad here. Okay, there we go. That should have solved the problem there for you guys. Okay, so Into the Cryptoverse saying 𝗬𝗎 short-term bubble risk. Now, if you see this guy at the bottom, what does this mean? They've given you a nice description as to what it means. Okay, so you can follow Into the Cryptoverse. They're actually an absolute banger with the type of info that they give, but they're telling us that 𝗬𝗎 is looking a little bit hot at the moment, and maybe it's time to be a little bit more cautious. So let's take a look at the 𝗬𝗎 chart. I want to get 𝗙𝗧𝗟𝗡𝗦's views as well as to where we are, because there's a couple of things that play here. Number one, we know 𝗬𝗎 is at all-time highs. This is 𝗬𝗎 on the 4-hour. And if we are super bullish on 𝗬𝗎, we know that we're typically going to look for some kind of sell-off. Okay, we've broken all-time highs. If you're super bullish, you typically look for that sell-off. Then you look for these bounces in these types of zones. Okay, what is the risk here? The risk is the pullback, the dip keeps dipping. Okay, and you've made so much cash on a nice long trade, and you say, okay, this scenario, the dip is going to hold, and then it doesn't hold, and then what happens? You end up sweating a little bit. So 𝗙𝗧𝗟𝗡, where are you with 𝗬𝗎? And considering what Into the Cryptoverse is also telling us. Hello, sir. Welcome back.
Hello. Thank you. 𝗬𝗎, by the way, just apologies in advance. My internet is really playing up today. I hope you can hear me all right. Do you want to bring my screen?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Lovely. So with 𝗬𝗎, just grab my screen there.
Okay, you're up.
Okay, lovely,
you're up.
Perfect. So the thing is, right? Obviously, these things have run. They've obviously had, they've had a good day. We've had some good signals. I mean, look at that for a signal. Perfect little move there. If you entered there, you'd have made 30%. Perfect.
I think
so. Yeah, absolutely. So look, what I'm really looking for, very simply, is I'd look to come back here before making my next move. What I'm essentially looking at is look, this is absolutely a reversal zone. Typically, we make a move up here, we get the reversal signs, and then we come back down, right? Obviously, it depends on how steep we come down, but this would be exactly the same here. There's our reversal. I'd expect the RSI to come down. As well as that, I'd also expect the cash flow wave to kind of level out and then come down as well. And that should line up with a visit back to this diagonal. So, the quantum reactor. Absolutely. Yeah. You read my mind. The quantum reactor, I'm looking at actually making a small, it should stay fairly flat, but it may meet the quantum reactor on the next move when this thing really starts to turn up.
So what's your level there? What are you looking at?
I would have thought a good entry point be somewhere below 4.67 roughly. What do you have? Okay. That also lines up.
I got a banger VWAP down there as well, about 4.7. So I see Ibrahim wants to send 𝗬𝗎 to 0. Okay, straight to 0. I don't know. Maybe he's not a fan. He's not a fan. Okay, so looking a little bit bearish from the indicator front. Okay, so I hear you. Let's take a look at this. So what I'm looking at on my chart, simply, okay, there's a couple of scenarios here on 𝗬𝗎. Yes, this thing can keep pumping. It can obviously start pumping here. If you don't have a 𝗬𝗎 position, your simple game plan, if it starts ripping, is number one, start playing the breakout of the horizontal. So if you see 𝗬𝗎 start breaking through 5.34, start pushing its head through that, you can start maybe taking on a little bit of risk there. I'm talking to the DGens, okay? The DGen. When you see that popping 5.34, you start taking a little bit of risk there. Maybe then it's going to start tracking higher. Right now, the percentage play for me, if you look at what 𝗙𝗧𝗟𝗡 has just shown you there, this is my 4-hour, okay? So my 4-hour is slightly different, but what 𝗙𝗧𝗟𝗡 has shown you on the 8-hour, potential reversal coming on 𝗬𝗎, and then this leads you to your typical DGen play. So it depends how you want to play this thing. But guys, anyone trading 𝗬𝗎, for me, okay, it's been a great trade, and I'm actually going to close this one. So let's bank a handbag. Okay, there we go. Let's close that thing there. Okay, banked. Okay, there we go. So I'm not going to short 𝗬𝗎. You can see there is a potential short there as well. You can see clearly defined levels here on the chart as well. You can see where you could put your stop, 5.44, somewhere in those types of regions if you're looking for a short there on 𝗬𝗎, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, so it can obviously pump a little bit higher. It can go. We know this thing can rip, but what I want to give you guys is if we get some kind of short-term dip here, I want to give you some percentage entries here where you can start building a 𝗬𝗎 position. And these are the areas where I will start looking for new entries on 𝗬𝗎. So 5.03, that is zone number one that I'm going to be watching. You can see I've got some VWAP action there as well and a 236. And then I've got a real banger here, 4.8. down to this VWAP at 4.7. Look at that. That ties in with what Chaos is telling you as well. So that region for me looks super interesting. So 4.8 down to 4.7 is the next banger zone there for 𝗬𝗎 traders. Okay, so I've taken profits now. You can see what's happened. We pumped into that zone. We haven't broken through just yet. I want to bank those profits. There will be another trade at some point on 𝗬𝗎. Okay, so we're going to be super patient there, and let's see how that plays out. And then Stylish Bushra says, I'm still waiting for my bit-funded giveaway to start trading. Stylish, what you can do is, if you were a winner, Stylish, if you were a winner of the giveaway, just mail giveaways at cryptobanter.com and remind them, okay, that you were the winner. Stylish, if you were the winner last year when me and Ray picked some of the winners, just mail them and remind them if you haven't received your thing. And alternatively, we will do other bit-funded giveaways. So just hang in there, and we will obviously sort you guys out. Okay. Syed says, where's my 2025 likes? Guys, how are we doing there? Yes, sir. Ray's in the house. Yes,
I don't want to speak too soon, but our short is not getting wrecked.
Is it not getting wrecked?
Somebody said our short, it's not getting wrecked. Somebody said our short will get wrecked.
It's not getting wrecked yet. It's one short. It's one short. I'm happy to get wrecked. I'm happy to get wrecked on the short. Okay, so guys, that is the wrap for 𝗬𝗎. You understand the process. Now, I got to talk about this XRP. I know XRP is one of my favorite meme coins, but we're going to talk about it. We have to just talk about it because it's always in the news. It's just a lot going on. Chaos, can you bear with me for a minute while we talk about XRP?
Of course.
Okay, so Brad Garlinghouse. Okay, he's giving you a whole situation. He says 2025 is here. Trump bull market is real. Okay, for Ripple, this is even more personal after Gensler's SEC effectively froze their business opportunities. Okay, so 75% of Ripple's open roles are now US based. Okay, interesting. And we've signed more US deals in the last 6 months of 2024 since the previous election than the previous 6 months. Okay, so things are looking interesting for XRP. And like I said before, I've always said XRP is an absolute shitcoin, and I stand to be corrected. Okay, and so far it has outperformed anything that I imagined. And I thought, let's look at it again. So here we are. Okay, let's look at a little bit of XRP. So we'll talk XRP on the weekly. And then Chaos and I have conflicting views as to where we are, but I think our views will tie in. I think our views are going to tie in here in a second. So XRP traders, just something interesting. We know a couple of weeks ago we had the massive pump. What does that mean for us? This means we have lots of liquidity to the upside that is easy for the market makers to come back and grab. So there's a potential upside target for us on XRP here of 2.8 to 2.9, those types of levels. Okay, so we have that information. We understand that if the market turns bullish, we could get some kind of push up for XRP. Now, that is the number one. Then we look on the lower time frame trades and chart setups. And what have I got here? Okay, I've got a 4-hour reversal on my chart prime oscillator. It's printed that reversal there for us. And now we are sweating a possible trend break. Okay, so that is what I'm looking at here. I think if we get a hard trend break here on XRP, then I think the move is on to those highs that I've just shown you on that weekly chart. So that is over there. That is those highs that we're going to be looking at. And we want to tackle those types of areas there. So if we get a hard push here, we are looking for this to start grinding up into that type of zone before we get a rejection. Okay, so that is my source on XRP. Okay, and looking for some action. So the big support for me is 2.31. Now I want to see what Chaos has here quickly before I give you the rest. Okay, can I pull your
bring me up? Yeah, let's go. Okay, so it's a tough one. Okay, and the reason it's a tough one is kind of a lot of stuff is halfway between the range. It's not up and it's not down. We've got a lot of flat lines, and this isn't just on the oscillators. It's on the cash flow. There's an awful lot of things that can essentially say we can really re-enter back down into this channel and into the order block potentially, or we can actually break through into this order block and then retest the channel. So before the show, I wanted to go short. As the show's developing, and it's now obviously 5:10 UK time, things are starting. I'm starting to go slightly longer. So I'm just wondering if this buy, which hasn't given us a TP yet, like here, might just do that before we get our TP. Then we get the retest, and then it's open season, baby. So
you're looking at
I need more candles. I need more candles.
Didn't you have a view on the 1 hour at some point?
That was a different token, but my 1 hour. Hold on.
Not XRP.
Yeah. So look, there's an awful lot of liquidity to the upside. There's a lot of order blocks. There's a lot of order blocks there. Okay. Let me just hide everything so that you can actually look at that. There's too many things loaded. Hold on. So let's take a look at this. So obviously, you know what's happened back here. We've just spoken about it. Just taking a look at the cash flow wave, the oscillator. There's been a little bit of a turn, but we still have an RSI that's facing up. The problem is, Dylan, there's things that are facing down and there's things that are facing up. If I just bring up a couple of indicators, we've got a buy, but it didn't really push. So I'm just wondering if this buy is going to show some exhaustion on the 1 hour and we do enter this channel. It might just look like this for a little bit of time before we get that, you know, when you come down. Yeah, look, I mean, look, you know, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, my 1 hour oscillator also doesn't look great. Okay, so, you know, this is effectively what we're looking for. So why I was saying I think our things could be tying in with one another anyway, is if this 1 hour does what we need it to do. Okay, number one, we know the 4 hour is pushing up. We understand that there's a potential 4 hour move on XRP, but in the interim, we can see the 1 hour is getting a little bit hot. So there's a chance it reverses a little bit first before the next bounce. So if we do get that reversal, that tells me 2.31 is going to be your banger zone. That 2.31, and that should give us a nice little entry. Look at this. We got our VWAP right here. We got our horizontals, and we got our 382. So that would be even more degen there. A little drop into 2.3, 2.31 would be a little banger there for us. But I do believe if the market goes bullish here, XRP 2.8 to 2.9, it comes. Okay, if the market stays bullish, it's coming. Flat out. Obviously, there might be other bangers in between that, but yeah, that's what I see. That's what I see happening there. And anything, I don't care, says Brad G doing something with eToro 2. And Rob M's wants some deep book. And Cutting George says he needs 4 candles. I don't know. What is Cutting George on about here? What are you talking about?
I can tell you what Rob M's on about with deep book. I gave a trade scalping. It was probably on Friday. There were people throwing out 1,000% tiles off one scalp.
Disgusting.
Deep book is a good thing to trade.
Okay, disgusting. Now let's talk AI agents. I got to cover this stuff. And one of our researchers, Rodolfo, you guys have heard me talk about him before, and he's given us a little thread here on the AI agents and the AI agent narrative. Now it's very important that you guys understand what we're talking about when we're talking about AI agents and these types of things. And what you can do is follow Rodolfo Pozo A on Twitter. Okay, and he's dropping banging alpha here for you guys, and he's given us a little bit of rundown about the AI agent narrative. So I'm not going to read this whole thing to you, but you can see he's highlighted virtual, okay, which we're talking about today. He's highlighted AI XBT, which I'm talking about today as well. Then he's covered this AI 16Z, which you've seen absolutely ripping on Banter Bubble, so that's one of them as well. Then he's covered Cookie, he's covered YNE, and there's tons going on here. Okay, so give him a follow. He's an alpha generator. He's an alpha machine. And follow what this man has to say. And let's start with AI XBT. Now, Matthew Highland pointing out the growth of the AI XBT agent is absolutely insane and growing exponentially. And he doesn't see why it slows down. Much likelier to continue to expand. The precedence it will have on X in the future will be gigantic. Okay, now AI agent, AI XBT. Let's take a look at what is going on here. Now, I've been tracking this virtual situation, and AI XBT is on the virtual network. And, you know, I'm trying to get entries on both of these things. I'm trying not to be not to get too ahead of myself, because obviously I've missed amazing entries on these things. But what I'm trying to do now is start building positions on low leverage. So I'm prepared to let these things sweat a little bit if I can accumulate a position. What we do understand is this AI agent narrative is not going away. It's a proper thing. And this thing is going to be, there's going to be some pumpage at some point. So what I want to do, hopefully without getting rinsed along the way, is start building positions on some of the key players here that we can start growing with leverage and start growing with size. So the first one I started was virtuals on 𝗬𝗢𝗘𝗟𝗡𝗏 that I told the hackers about over the last 10 days. We've been starting to build that virtuals position. And the other one now that I'm very interested in is this AIXBT. So this is AIXBT on the 1 hour that we are tracking. And look, naturally, your safest play on these types of situations are spot buys, obviously. But the degens can do things like build leverage positions, provided you have a bias on where the market is going and you have a bias on where you think these tokens will be going. So what you can do, you can see I've just adjusted these levels. As the price moves up, we just adjust our fibs and we make sure that we have tie-in where we can, okay, on certain levels. So the first thing I did there, you saw me, I just raised my fib there to the highs, and I want to see tie-in with my 382 fib and my horizontal. So you can see that type of zone is interesting to us still, okay, if we do get some kind of dip now on this AIXBT. So right now, trying to build a position, I've got a shocking entry, okay. I grabbed some roundabout here earlier today, but where are my buy zones? 558, that's going to be the next one. And then a little bit lower down, we're going to look at 529. Now, these are accumulation areas. These are the zones we want to be buying these things on low leverage. If we do get these drops into that area, these are accumulation levels. So we're going low leverage here, small positions, accumulate. If they start bleeding into these zones, we're saying, hang on, our bias here is over the next X amount of months, this thing is going to finish up and higher. And what I want to do is start building a position. So any weakness that it gives me, I'm going to look at as an opportunity rather than a problem. And we're going to try and build this position here on this AIXBT. So big zone number one, 5587, then 529 is another banger, and then the lows at 482. These are your big areas here. These are your hot zones that you want to be looking at to accumulate this thing. And look, if it starts losing these types of levels here, well, then there's something fundamentally wrong perhaps with the project, and maybe something wrong with the market, okay? And that could mean Bitcoin is completely falling over here and we are under pressure. So that is what I'm looking at the moment. You can see it's a 20% dip to the lows, and looking to buy this thing on weakness. And obviously, if this thing starts pumping, we can see our natural target is going to be the 66 level. You can see the highs. We want to come take out these highs and then naturally start growing and moving up from there. So that is my strategy there. Do you concur or inconcur, sir?
I do have that, and I've actually got it on my screen. I've got the order block
You've got
loaded.
It? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got
Let's
three
see.
of these. I've got 3 of these AI agents for you. Very simply. Actually, I should have spoken to you about this, but I didn't. I'm so sorry. When this printed, this also coincided with the cash flow pointing up. I actually took an entry here on this candle. And then a few candles later, I'm so sorry I didn't tell you. And then we got a buy signal. I'm actually targeting this. This is a 27% trade. And then what I'm actually expecting is a rejection off this bearish sort of order block, as it were. I wouldn't be surprised, if I'm honest, if we see this zone again. I really wouldn't, you know.
Okay, so yeah, upside targets, that's the highs that I'm talking about. Then downside target, yeah, it's the lows. It is possible. Okay, so this is a no panic trade. Okay, we've identified this narrative. We know it's not going away, and it might go hot, it might go cold, these types of things. And these are some interesting areas here where we could accumulate some positions, and you know, maybe it's going to work out in our favor. So that is my game plan, guys. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit the like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. You know what to do. Hit the likes there if you're enjoying it. And yeah, if you're enjoying chaos, obviously, and you're enjoying this handsome man as well in the back there. There he is. Hello, sir. He's ashamed, guys. Ray's actually feeling under the weather today. Okay, he's not feeling well. I think you just wish Ray well. He's not feeling good. Not feeling good today. Okay, let's get some more action here. So AIXBT. Follow Rodolfo. He'll give you some banging information on this. Obviously, I'm trying to get him into hackers as well. I'm trying to bring him into chart hackers so he can drop some special stuff there for us. So I'm working on that as well. Okay, there is AIXBT you've got. Now, the next one is virtual. Okay, it's virtual's protocol. The ticker is virtual. And these are the two big zones that I've been giving to the hacker guys. So you can see we're reacting on zone number 1, the 4 level, and trying to build a position here on virtual. And again, prepared to let this thing drop all the way to 3.24 for the next potential buy zone. So the danger of that is obviously it's quite a big downside move. It's another 23% but you can see, if you've been watching my show long enough, you can see what a banger looks like. Okay, now that's a fucking banger. 3.24, and you can see my alarm is on, and what I'm doing here on 𝗬𝗥 at the moment is trying to build these positions. So you can see I've got my first virtual entry at the moment. It's $8,400. It's on 7x leverage. I've got my next buy order for virtual just above my liquidation level, which is at 3.75 at the moment. And then I'll have another order. If that one picks up at 3.75, I'll prep the next order at 3.24 in the banger zone. And by then we'll hopefully have a substantial size position here. And that should tie in very nicely with a nice reset on virtual and then a big send. So right now, options are level 4 is a buy zone number 1. Buy zone number 2 is 3.24. Okay, now this is a nice AI agent play, and could be an absolute banger. Obviously, there's guys that got this thing way, weeks ago, months ago, whatever, and now they are cooking at the moment. But if the narrative stays, I would expect at least a solid bounce off the 3.24 zone, 3.25, that type of area, and then looking for higher, obviously. Okay, so we'll see how that plays out, guys. I'm trading this on 𝗬𝗥. Now remember, all the exchanges, all the fun shit that I talk about on the show is directly under the show description. So all you need to do is go under the show, click on more, and then you can see all these things that I talk about. There's chart hackers as well. There's Prime XBT, there's 𝗬𝗥, there's 𝗬𝗥, there's all the things that I cover here for you. And
also,
yes.
They can't forget the steps, sir. Step 1, watch the show throughout the week. Step 2, practice risk management. And then number 3, make some profit. Join chart hackers. Let's fucking go.
He's got it all sorted out. And go scalping with Ray. I mean, you want to pay your chart hackers fees, just go scalp with Ray once or twice a day. The man says he hasn't lost the trade. Chart hackers, guys, let me know. Is he telling the truth here?
They haven't lost the opening session. They haven't lost the opening session.
He hasn't lost an opening session. Okay, come on. Okay, let's go. Liz says, miss you guys. Liz, we miss you. Okay, we miss you, Liz. What else is going on here? What is Zero Bro? What is Zero Bro? Arabian Panda, welcome, bro. Welcome. You are late.
It's a coin.
But you are here.
It's pretty volatile. Zero Bro.
Sounds like a problem. Goodco says they are good at scalping. They might be good at scalping. Okay, let's not digress. Here is some more action for you guys. Okay, so you can see the deal. You can see I'm still sitting in a whiff position. Remember, this whiff put me under so much pressure on the 20th of Jan. I think this went negative $5,000 or something disgusting. It's now turned green. Okay, so luckily it was a low leverage play, and we played our big zones. We played our big areas that we back, and whiff played out for us. So right now it is alive. Okay, it is alive and cooking. Now here's another one. AIXBT is the AI agent on Twitter, obviously, and it's dropping alpha. Okay, now here it is. It's dropping some alpha about a token called Audit. Okay, doing $7.8 million daily volume at $14 million market cap. Okay, so AIXBT, the AI agent, is now dropping alpha on Twitter. So here is corporate audit, AI, or whatever this token is called. Okay, 16,000 followers. There's some shit going down here, and I thought let's take a look at this thing on DexTools. So could be a play to look at. You can see the current market cap is sitting at $11 million here, and sitting on an interesting level. This is the 2-hour chart, so it's pretty fresh at the moment, but you can see what's going on here. We are sitting on an interesting level. So bringing this to your attention, is this a pumper? Potentially. Is it a dumper? Potentially. Okay, now remember, this agent is calling it on Twitter, but something to look at. So levels for me, you can see right here, nice little horizontal, 109. So that takes us to the current market cap. And then the next market cap is going to be at $7.4 million market cap is going to be the next buy zone. So it's either here, these types of levels here, you can grab some there. Alternatively, you're looking a little bit lower down at the 7 level. So ideally, you'd look for that bounce off these lows. And again, you can see quite simply, you can see these levels. But, if this is going to play around, obviously this is a small cap, so it's a little bit more dangerous, as you guys know, and we're not on any major exchanges. So just be careful here. But here is a small cap for you guys, 11 million market cap. These are the 2 buy levels. take a look. Okay, you can follow them on Twitter. Here they are, and it's getting punted by AIXBT. Okay, it's literally automated, and he's doing some work. Carlos says, expecting gaming run right after AI run. I concur. Gaming sector has some juicy entries now, guys. BeamX, okay, AVAX play, love that thing, and I think that's a banger for us. Now, AI Avalanche, okay, Avalanche getting onto the AI train as well. Chaos, how are you doing there?
Just chilling, man. Just chilling. I've just posted a chart in 𝗙𝗘𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪 while you had me off screen.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, we're talking, hang with me. We're talking Avalanche, we're talking AVAX, and all I've got here is AI Avalanche. Now, they're jumping onto the bandwagon. You can see the cocks even getting involved at the moment. There's cock over there. For those of you with filthy minds, you can see it's literally a cock. Okay, so don't be like that. Okay, I told you I was riding the cock, as in the trade. There it is. Let's take a look at AVAX. So, number one, what have we got? VWAP rejection. Now, isn't this interesting? We've got Bitcoin rejecting at a 618. We got AVAX rejecting at the VWAP from the upside. So that is interesting to us. But are we bearish on AVAX? Chaos?
I'm just loading up. Hold on.
Okay, let me finish with what I've got at the moment, what I think we could see out of this thing. So right now, AVAX, you can see on the 8 hour, look at that oscillator. It started rolling over there. So what we want to look for here is some bearish divergence. So I just want to see a lower high on this 8 hour oscillator. And I want to see one more push up here for AVAX into about 47 to 49, something like that. And that should give us the proper reversal that I think we deserve. Okay, and then we could get some decent entries here on AVAX. So you can see right now on its own, without doing too much work here, you can see we are brewing some big support on AVAX. And that is I don't want to say it's a huge level, but it's a pretty big level here, the 42 that we have now broken through. And if we do get a dip on AVAX at any time, even if it comes now, I'd say 41 to 42. Look at that buy zone there for AVAX. So that's a banger there for me, for potentially more upside to that. And then if the market does start churning higher, just like we saw with ETH, okay, now we're expecting these lower highs, but if the market does start churning higher, what are we looking at? We're looking at that 47 to 48, and then we're looking at the highs again. We'll take out those wicks at about 54, those types of levels there on AVAX. So your big levels you need to worry about now today, 41 to 42, that is going to be your big support you're watching. Then upside is here, 45, and then 47 to 48 is going to be your next rejection zone. Yes, Shifty, what's happening there, sir? Do you like what I've got here behind me there, Shifty? Okay, talk to me, Chaos.
Okay, do you want to bring up the screen? Excuse me. So I've only just drawn this up while you were talking, so apologies, it's a little bit rushed. Yeah, we've obviously broken through a strong resistance point here. I wouldn't be surprised. I can see we made a small poke and a poke back, but I wouldn't be surprised to use this as support before the next move. Now, for me, order blocks mark out clear TP zones. You said 49. I'm saying 49. Obviously, we take it level by level, so I'm not sure at this point what will come next. I just wonder, Dill, if you won't get this pullback again, which would kind of equate to this falling over a little bit, not too far, because I don't know if you can see it from here, the cash flow wave, it's actually starting to come down. You can see there, tracing it downwards slightly. It's really, really minimal. This is one of these where you need to let the candles play out. But I would probably say if you got the entry, what was your level? Around 42. Is that what you said?
41 to 42. Yeah.
Mate, this is perfect. Yeah. If you get this, I mean, dude, that's a straight up 160% trade on a 10x. That's brilliant. You know, it's a good trade.
Okay, so 41 to 42 on AVAX. So we are not bearish. We are short term, maybe a bullback. Bullbacks, guys. Bullbacks.
Test of support.
Okay, retest of support. 41 to 42. That's your supreme buy zone there. Excuse me. Your supreme buy zone for AVAX, 41 to 42. Okay. Now, what do you do when AVAX pumps? Everybody knows by now. What do you do when AVAX pumps, sir?
Sell it.
Well, that too. Okay, you immediately grab your cock when AVAX pumps. We know that. But then you can also grab BMX. So cock is the main meme coin on AVAX. So we've noticed some AVAX strength over the last couple of days. And what you can do, and Ray actually found this for us on our live session on Friday. He says, guys, look at this. We got cock starting to turn green. Now remember, Ray watches 3-minute candles. So he starts getting excited before we even noticed anything on these 15 minutes, and he called the cock down here. at these lows at about 13, 134.
You're still
those
sharing
types
my
of
screen.
levels.
So you're on my screen still, bro.
Oh, apologies. There it is. Right there it is. So there's the cock. So Ray called it at those lows in that type of region here, at this double bottom, at this 134 level, those types of regions there. Now we've had a couple of nice moves out of this cock. So we're going to have to see now what the market gives us. But if AVAX remains bullish, we expect cock to obviously keep grinding higher. So what you need to watch out for on cock is just a couple of key levels here. So what you can do is you can bang out your trend. You can see we are climbing higher at the moment, and you can see from a degen perspective there are some very clear levels that you can work with at the moment. So if you're looking for a degen play on cock, you can see quite clearly here you don't want to lose 146. If you start losing this 146 zone, that is going to be pretty bearish for you. Okay, so that's going to tell us that cock is drifting lower. You can see that 1 hour then will be turning over properly, and then we're going to be looking for reversals a little bit lower down. But right now we can see we've had a pump in this cock here, big pump. Now we're looking for a bullish pullback. What do we have here? 1498, zone number 1, 1464, zone number 2. If it's going to stay bullish, you're just looking for that bounce. Very simple. If it's going to stay bullish, you want to see that trend hold. You're looking for that bounce there off the 618. A simple little move here. So 146, big level for me. Look for that bounce. 149 is obviously the current zone that we're looking at now. Yes, sir.
Can we? At what point do we move our stop loss to break even on Bitcoin? Because it's in profit.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I'm not ready yet. I still think they're going to come. I still think they're going to come.
Okay.
I think, look, we got a big candle here. We've got a big candle here. I love scalping Bitcoin on this Prime XBT. Okay, big candle here, and you can see our big level on this 15-minute is 99,900. Okay, so you can see that if we do get some momentum here, that's going to be a nice one for us. But yeah, I'm not ready to move my stop just yet, Ray. I'm wondering if they just come one more time. I get stopped out early, and then they come and they send it down. So I'm gonna hang on for now with it as it is. Okay, so just finishing the cock, guys, you know what to do now. You've got your rising trend here. You got your 618. You know where you can get a bounce. Look for that. That's the bullish play. If AVAX remains bullish, you're looking for that cock to carry on pushing for you guys. And then obviously we'll talk about some gaming tokens this week. And we'll cover BMEX. That's an AVAX gaming token play. That's going to be a banger. And we'll cover some of the other gaming tokens as well. We haven't done a gaming segment in a while. So we're going to have you guys covered this week for those things. Let's go Render. Also an absolute banger. Okay, now, I mean, we know AI was pumping, but fuck me, Render really started ripping here. And we caught some of this on the Hackers live session last night. We were looking for a little breakout there on Render on the lower time frames to try and grab the next move. Now, remember what I like to do is if we get a bullish scenario here, we typically look for the pump into major horizontals. Then we look for these bullish breakouts at these types of regions. So then we start dialing in and we look for these flag breakouts in these regions. There's nothing more exciting than consolidation under a major resistance band, because sometimes they give you those breakouts and then you know that opens up generally quite a big move or quite a big trade next. So yesterday was an opportunity to add to that Render position that I'm sitting in, and now it's pretty big now at the moment, and but we might be faced with some kind of pullback. You can see it's $67,000 in size at the moment. It's 11,600 up, and let's see if we can make this thing work. If this is something we can potentially hold on to. So the first zone for me is now being hit. This is my first rejection zone, and that is the 9 level, and then 9.7 is going to be your next major rejection zone for Render. But just like you saw on AVAX. Okay, big level here for me, and we're just going to adjust these fibs. Just like you saw on AVAX, look at that banger, 8.1. Okay, absolute banger support now. If you get a pullback down into that region, that is not a time to be too bearish. That is a time to try and take on some risk here. If we've had a nice pump like that, if we get a bullish pullback, I would expect the bulls to step in at this region, 8.1, 50-day moving average, 382, horizontals, all those beautiful things there. And we'll look for a bounce in that type of region. Chaos, have you looked at some AVAX?
I've got it on my screen. Render. I've got it on my screen, and you're literally reading my mind. The 3 zones that I've got marked out: 8.1, okay, just slightly short, 9, and 9.5. You have literally got my zone. It's like you're in my head. What we might see here is this could cook a little bit further. You know, we might still push up to this order block. Might then pull back with the next sort of pullback here with the cash flow neutralizing. and then we may well push up to the following order block. I've literally got the same levels as you. This is
but it's quite cool. Those chart prime order blocks are tying in with my 0.5 and my 618 fibs as well. So nice little confluence. So guys, I mean, what I want you guys to see here, most importantly, is understand your danger zone. So if you're trying to jump into the market now, just understand what your risk is. What is your risk? Your downside risk on render on the 8-hour time frame is actually all the way down there. It's an 8% dip. Okay, that is your downside risk. And your reward to the upside, well, if it pops through this zone, your next big zone is 7% to the upside. So, you know, if you're looking at it from that perspective, just understand your risk. It's 7-8% to the downside, 7-8% to the upside. Obviously, if you're trading leverage and you're looking for more breakouts and things like that, it's slightly different. But it's 8%, basically, risk reward here to the downside and to the upside. Bullish Kello. Hello, sir. I'm back. Okay, I took a 10-day hiatus. What do we call it? A 10-day break. I swear it felt like months. Okay, it really felt like a long time. It's actually unreal. Okay, let's go render short term. So just to discuss, this is the breakout trade we were looking at last night, and a very simple game plan here. You look for those pops of horizontals, just like I showed you on 𝗬𝗢𝗘𝗟𝗡𝗦 earlier in the show. What are we looking at here? You look for these breaks of horizontals, and you look for the retest, and then you look for the send. Now, I mean, you can't get more textbook than this. I mean, look at this render. Okay, this was render on the 1 hour. What does it do? It pops the horizontal, breaks 50-day MA, it breaks the horizontal. What does it do? Fuck me, retest, okay, on the horizontal, and bang. Okay, this is like textbook shit. You know, it's important that you guys watch this stuff and you understand, you know, where you can get your buys in and things like that. So render is now absolutely cooking. So if you're looking for some short-term levels, well, I can help you. Okay, so we're gonna take our fibs from the lows to the highs, and we want to start identifying some new hot zones, some new little areas here for the degens. Where can they get a little bit of render? If this AI narrative in general is going to keep moving on, well, obviously render is where you want some of your, chips floating around some render. So you can see immediately here on the lower time frames, look at that. We've got some banger confluence here as well. Look at that, 236 with some horizontals there. Let's see where our VWAPs are. Okay, so they are moving higher at the moment. Give it a little bit of time. Let's see if we can put a VWAP at that low there. Bang. Okay, so nice. Okay, so render traders. This is for the degens. Okay, degen traders. 8.46. Okay, your safest zone I can give you, 8.46. Okay, I can't stop you from being a degen, but I can give you your safest areas if you want to be a degen. Okay, 8.46, and then obviously back massive retest here, 8.11. By the time that happens, you'll see this VWAP will be pushing up here, and I reckon by the time that happens, we get a monster bounce off that 8.11. So mark this 8.46. 8.11. Those are your big hot zones there for render that you're watching to the downside. And then upside, you can see the target is 9.68. Okay, that is your rejection zone. Look at that. It's a wick. They'll come and take out that wick. Look out for some fun and games in that area. I would most likely expect some kind of rejection in that zone. So right now, I'm going to remain in my render long. I've closed 𝗬𝗢𝗘𝗦. We banked that one. Let's leave render to run. Let's see if we get to that next zone, then maybe it's time to start clipping a little bit off that render trade. So that is the game plan then on render traders. Okay, Chaos, you got something for us?
I've got about 7 left. What would you like?
7. Okay, just give us like 1 or 2. We're running out of time here because I still got to talk about these meme coins.
Do you just very
listen, let's talk about it.
Which one?
Injective.
Okay, cool. No problem. Hold on.
Okay, give me injective.
I've got injective. All right, cool. This is Confluence City. Okay, cool. So here we go. We've obviously got the quantum reactor, which is part of the chart prime suite. This thing acts as a very, very nice line. While you're trading above this thing, you're green. When you pass through this thing and you start trading below this thing, you're red. It often acts as a really good bounce point. So if you can bounce off it and carry on, when it passes through, if it doesn't retest, then you get a trade in the other direction. We are literally smashing our heads on it as we speak. So how does that confluence? Very clearly, topped out to the max on cash flow, RSI, and other parts of the indicator. There's blue dots appearing everywhere. We actually just pinged into a zone that I marked out some time ago. Whether or not we get a quick wick to this or not, that's quite an extreme move, remains to be seen. But from what I can gather, Injective is going to now give us a bit more of this, and we may well end up somewhere in this zone just here in line with this, which is 23.82 roughly. How does that look for you?
I just added a little bit to my short.
Well, let me tell you, I'm 30% up on my short. So whoever said we weren't shorting,
this is degen shit. Okay, so you guys know I love the strategy. When the market is bullish, I love a hedge short strategy. Now, obviously, these are great shorts to get rinsed on. Like, it's totally fine getting stopped on them, but fuck me, when the market falls over and you got a couple of hedge shorts running, psychologically and mentally, it's an absolute game changer. So whenever we get a nice bullish pump here, I look for shorts in some good areas. And right now, look, Injective is one of them. Okay, so I see Usher says he's short Injective at 26. My average entry is 26.34. Okay, right now on Injective. So let's see. Okay, so that is that. Let's pull out the Injective chart quickly. Let's take a look here. And this is now a hedge play. So I'm not saying the whole market is going to zero. I'm saying, you know, if we do get a pullback here, it's a bullish pullback. But at least we have some cover. If the market really starts capitulating, then you got cover. If you guys, any one of you want to relive the 20th of December without hedge shorts, okay, luckily we had hedge shorts, okay, it saved the day. So here is my Injective chart, and these are the two zones where you can realistically look for shorts, okay, where, you know, your risk is typically or essentially the lowest, okay? And this is zone number one, where we are right now. You can see rejecting off that quantum reactor like Chaos just told you. We've got our 50-day MA as well. You can see a nice rejection candle. So that makes sense for me, tied in with the 4-hour that is obviously also heavily overbought at the moment. Again, doesn't mean that it has to come all the way to the bottom. It's just saying, you know, there's a chance that this thing could cool off a little bit at these levels. So Injective looking like a possible head short here. That is why I've jumped into that thing. What you can do is your stop can be a candle close now. If you see that wick over there, we still haven't had a candle close above the 50-day moving average. So that is pretty decent. And then if you want to use that wick high, if you can say a candle close above 26.87. So if you get a candle close above 26.87, that most likely means that this thing is going to start grinding higher to around about the 28, 29 region is what you're going to be looking at for Injective, and that should offer you your next potential short opportunity. So just the same way we look for longs on some hot zones, you can do the exact same thing looking for some shorts on some hot zones as well. And you know, typically I've inverted the chart here, but you can see these shorts, they play out in these hot areas here. That's going to be a 618 and horizontal there for us as well on Injective. So these are your hot zones, these are your short zones. So it's right here, 26 region up to about 26.6. If you candle close above that candle, yes, you know, maybe jump out of that thing. And then downside targets, well, you don't have to be that aggressive. You're looking at about 24.8. You're looking at about 23.3 if we do get some kind of short-term pullback there on the market. So that is that. Remember, guys, all of these charts go straight into Chart Hackers during and after the show. So if you're a member of Chart Hackers, you will find all these charts in the channel. It's under live show charts sitting in the Discord for you. So you'll be able to play and look at them, obviously, at your leisure. Cunning George, what's going on here? He's got a 26.3. Short as well. Okay, so yeah, some of the guys are shorting Injective. Just be careful. Remember your next short zone in case it does fail. Okay, we're running out of time here, guys. Okay, I've got so much alpha for you. We're gonna have to continue some of it tomorrow. But I wanted to talk about this meme coin, Goku, as well. So Murad. You guys know Murad. He's like the meme messiah or whatever the fuck they call him. And he's the man who's got all his theories about meme coins and things like that. And he dropped a chart yesterday, or late yesterday. And this chart basically shows the $100 plus holders and the percent of $100 plus holders. And this kind of ranks some of his meme coins, okay? And what these guys have done on Goku is they've slotted in Goku onto his ranking system. Over here, and you can see this Goku is looking good. Now, I've been speaking about this Goku, I don't know, how long? 2 months, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, I don't know. But it's a thing, okay? And right now it's actually trading higher. It's about an $18 million market cap. I think I brought it to you guys at around $3 million. And here's Goku at the moment. So you can see we've got another trend break here for Goku, and we've got to watch a couple of obvious things. Now, the obvious things are, you know, you want to buy these things when it's red. You want to buy it on the big levels. You don't really want to buy it when it's pumping. So take advantage when there are dumps and things like that for these types of tokens. So right now, levels I can give you on Goku, 0.016 and 0.009. Okay, these are going to be your main levels that you want to watch. Look for a bounce there, 0.099. That makes sense for me. Nice little bounce zone there on Goku. Then quickly, okay, WIF. You can see anybody trading WIF, beautiful bounce. Okay, this setup was in Chart Hackers last Monday, so you guys would have taken advantage of this bounce here on WIF. Now we had a typical rejection area. As you can see, 200-day MA giving us a hard time. So key support for WIF, 1.88. You want to hold that higher low. Okay, so 1.88, look out for that. And what you can do, just like I did with Render yesterday, you can look for a flag breakout on WIF on the lower time frame. Look for that 200-day MA break, and that is going to take you up to 2.6. And then it might take you up to 2.9 if the market turns super bullish. So WIF traders, that is your game plan there. Look for this flag now under major resistance. Look for that breakout trade. This week, we should get it. Okay, I'll be tracking WIF, obviously, for you guys if it's going to break. Popcat, on the 4 hour, you can see a false start here on Popcat. What did Popcat do? Popcat pumped into 200-day MA. Big rejection now for us. First zone you're going to watch for support. Popcat, 0.853. 0.853, that is your first support zone. 0.853, your next bullish zone, 0.813. Okay, I'd look for a bounce there. One of those two regions, 853, 813. And looking for that, I was calling it a daddy-sized reversal yesterday, but it would be beautiful here if we could get this reversal on the oscillator as well on the 4 hour, and that could give us something to play with here. But ideally, if we get that oscillator dipping nice and low there, and we start printing a higher low on Popcat, for example, 8133, that can be an absolute banger for us there. So look out for that. Those are your Popcat levels. Resistance is 96. And 1.01. Those are your resistance zones for now. That's all you need to worry about there from that side. And then let's go Doge. Okay, just a quick update on Doge. We know Doge is going nowhere, so I figured sometimes we've got to talk about this one. Oh, and Chaos has gone long on SHIB. Did you drop that in Chart Hackers?
It will be on there when the stream ends, yeah. Okay,
Chart Hackers, there's a SHIB long coming in for you guys from Chaos. And Doge, just quickly, Doge on the weekly, you can see big level 0.315, 0.315. That is going to be your main support. You can see that area is held. That's our 382 pullback zone as well. So 0.315. And look, I expect Doge to climb higher with the Trump pump, with Elon in government doing all these things. So I am expecting more from Doge. And what I would expect here is anything around 68 down to about 60. That looks like a reasonable area for us to target on Doge before we start looking at, potentially a massive downside. Okay, so that is the game plan there. Guys, yeah, that's 1 hour, 6 minutes, and I didn't even get through everything I wanted to get through. So big week. Make sure you're tuning in. Chaos, thanks for hanging. Ray, thanks for hanging. Ray, feel better,
yes, bro. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Wish you better, Ray.
Get better, bro. Better. I need you strong.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. So look, you've got a couple of ideas from me. You can see we are short Bitcoin, we are short Injective, but we are still bullish here on some kind of bounce on some of these altcoins. Big interest in AI agents. Watch the AI plays like Render as well. GRT could be a play for you as well if you like AI plays. And lots to talk about. We're going to have a massive week, so I'm going to catch up as much as I can this week. We might have a few long shows this week while we just go through a host of tokens here. I want to get you guys brought up to speed on where everything is and how we're going to tackle everything. So much going on this week. We got tons happening. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Catch you guys later.
Bro, the short is not wrecked. The short is not